If you're hearing this right now, it ain't by accident. Something pulled you in. Something deep in your spirit said, listen to this. Maybe you don't even know why, but I'll tell you. It's because this message was meant for you. Yeah, you. God's been trying to speak to your heart, and right now, He's using my voice to do it. You think what you're going through is gonna break you. You think this struggle, this season of silence, this pain that won't let go, is the final chapter of your life? No, my friend. That's the biggest lie the enemy ever told you. This is not the end. This is the setup. You're not being buried, you're being planted, and what God plants, He waters. What He waters, He grows. What He grows, He uses. You see, breakthrough doesn't show up when life is easy. It doesn't come with sunshine and smooth roads. No, it comes in the storm. It shows up when everything feels like it's falling apart. When the people you counted on disappear. When the doors that once opened now slam in your face. When your prayers feel like they're hitting the ceiling. That's when God is closest. Not because He's punishing you, but because He's preparing you. There are things God can only teach you in the struggle. There's strength He's building in you that comfort could never create. That heartbreak, that disappointment, that moment you thought would break you, that's where the breakthrough is being born. Every tear you cried, every night you stayed up wondering if it's ever going to get better, God saw it, and He didn't just see it. He collected it, because He never wastes pain. He turns it into purpose. Right now, you might be walking through fire. But hear me, this fire is refining you. God didn't bring you this far just to leave you in the middle. No, He's walking with you, even when you can't feel Him, even when it's quiet. That silence, that's not His absence. That's His process. He's letting you walk by faith and not by sight. And not by sight, because the faith you build now will be the foundation you stand on later. You might not see the outcome, but that's okay. Because God sees the whole picture. He's already at the finish line, calling you forward. Telling you, don't quit now, don't let go, I'm not done with you. What you thought was your breaking point is really your breakthrough point. The struggle, it's not the end, it's the setup. For glory, for healing, for power, for a story only you could live and only God could write. So don't curse the struggle. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Cry if you must. Fall to your knees if you have to, but don't you dare quit. Because the God who brought you to it will surely bring you through it. God will bring you through it. Believe that. Speak that. Walk like it's already done. But you need to understand how this powerful shift works, so you can fully embrace the manifestation of your desire. Before we dive into this life-changing message, take a moment to pause, hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 77. This number holds immense power and will amplify the energy of this message. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end. Your spirit already knows this is for you. If you're ready, then get ready. God does His best work in your darkest moments, not when everything's good. Not when the bank account is full, or when the phone won't stop ringing with congratulations. No, God shows up the loudest when life goes quiet. When you can't hear nothing but your own fears echoing in your mind, that's when the real work begins. That's where heaven leans in closer. In those moments when you're thinking, why me? God is saying, because I'm building something in you that can't be built in comfort. You ever notice how diamonds are made pressure? You ever see how gold is purified? Fire. The same God that created stars out of nothing is shaping your future out of pain. And I know it hurts. I know you're tired of saying you're okay when you're not. I know you pray, and sometimes you wonder if your prayers even left the room. But trust me, God heard every word. He just works in silence because the best transformations happen when nobody's watching. You see, when you're in the middle of the storm, your eyes are focused on the wind, the waves, the chaos. But God's focused on your growth. He's focused on your heart. He's focused on the version of you that's coming out of this. The stronger you, the wiser you. The one who don't need validation from people because they walk with confirmation from heaven. You've been asking, God, why is this happening to me? But the question you should be asking is, God, what are you making me into? Because see, when God allows darkness, He doesn't abandon you in it. He works in it. Think about that seed. It gets planted underground, buried in the dirt, surrounded by darkness. But something miraculous happens in that hidden place. Roots start forming, life starts pushing through. And soon enough, what was buried begins to rise. That's you. You've been planted, not forgotten. Covered, not canceled. Hidden, not hopeless. You just can't see it yet, but it's coming. He's building a testimony in you, one that no one can argue. Not your doubters, not your past, not even your own fear. The very people who thought you were finished are gonna witness your rise and wonder how you did it. And you'll tell them, it wasn't me, it was God. He brought me through what I couldn't survive on my own. That's how He works. He takes the broken pieces and turns them into blessings. He takes the silence and fills it with strength. He takes the lowest moment of your life and uses it to lift someone else out of theirs. This is not random. It's not a mistake. You're being crafted in the dark. And when God is done, the world will see a light shining from you that darkness can't dim. But until then, trust the process. Lean into Him, even when it hurts, even when it's quiet, even when you're scared, because God is doing His best work in this very moment, not tomorrow, not next year, now. So breathe, lift your head, and remember, God does His best work in your darkest moments. You don't need the answers, you need the faith. That's the truth we miss when we try to figure everything out. When we sit up late at night, heart racing, mind spinning, trying to understand why things happened the way they did. Why people left, why doors closed, why pain showed up right when we thought we were finally at peace. But let me tell you something real. Faith isn't about having it all figured out. It's about trusting the one who already has it all in His hands. You're not supposed to have every detail. You're not supposed to see every step. You just need to believe that God is already ahead of you, making the way clear. You see, answers give control, but faith requires surrender. And most of us struggle, not because we don't believe God exists, but because we don't like giving up that control. We want to know what's next. We want guarantees. We want signs, confirmations, timelines. But God doesn't work like that. He's not interested in building your comfort. He's building your character. And character is forged in the unknown. In the moments where you say, God, I don't see it, but I'll still trust you. I don't feel it, but I'll still walk. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I know you will. Think about every person God used in Scripture. They didn't get a full blueprint. Abraham was told to leave everything and go to a place God would show him. Not a map. Not a destination. Just go. That's faith. Moses was told to walk toward the Red Sea before it ever parted. Faith. Peter was told to step out of the boat before he knew if he could walk on water. Faith. Every breakthrough, every miracle, every moment that changed history. It all began with someone choosing to believe without proof, to walk without sight, to trust without understanding. You might be in a place right now where nothing makes sense. Everything you planned is falling apart. The people you leaned on aren't there anymore. You're praying, but heaven feels quiet. And every part of you wants to give up, shut down, and say, God, if you're real, then why am I still struggling? But listen to me. Faith isn't the absence of struggle. It's what carries you through the struggle. It's what keeps you standing when everything in you wants to collapse. Faith whispers, keep going, even when your legs are trembling. Faith reminds you that the storm is temporary, but God's promise is eternal. And don't you dare think that your faith has to be perfect. God isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for persistence. Even if your faith is small, like a mustard seed, He can move mountains with that. It's not about how strong you are, it's about how strong He is. Just keep showing up, keep praying, keep walking. You don't have to see the end to take the next step. You just have to believe that the next step matters. That your obedience in this moment is unlocking blessings you haven't even imagined yet. One day you'll look back and realize that the season you thought would break you was the season that built you. Not because everything made sense, but because you chose faith over fear, trust over doubt, surrender over control, and God honored that. So let go of the need to have all the answers. Hold tight to the one who holds you. You don't need the answers, you need the faith. What breaks you today will build you tomorrow. That's something most people don't want to hear when they're in the middle of it. When their heart is shattered, when the tears won't stop, when it feels like the world is falling apart around them. But it's the truth. The pain you're facing, the loss you've experienced, the betrayal you didn't see coming. It's not meaningless. It's not the end of your story. It's the construction site of your strength. And I know it doesn't feel like that right now. Right now, all you feel is broken. But broken doesn't mean destroyed. It just means something new is about to be formed. When life hits you hard, you have two choices. You can let it bury you, or you can let it build you. You can stay in the pit, or you can use the pieces to climb out. What happened to you might not be your fault, but how you respond. That's where your power is. That's where your growth begins. See, God never promised us a life without trouble, but He did promise that He would be with us through it all. And sometimes His greatest work begins right at the point where we think everything is falling apart. The breaking feels cruel, but it's actually precise. God knows exactly what needs to fall away so the real version of you can rise. There are pieces of your identity that needed to be shattered. Fear, doubt, pride, the need to please people, the lies you believed about your worth. Sometimes He allows the breaking because without it, you'd settle for a life that's beneath your calling. But after the breaking, after the pain, after the tears, you begin to see yourself through His eyes. Stronger, wiser, unshakable. That heartbreak, it's going to teach you what love really is. That failure, it's going to show you what true success feels like when you earn it through grit and grace. That betrayal, it's going to reveal who's really for you, and most importantly, it's going to lead you closer to the one who will never walk away. Everything the enemy tried to use to crush you, God will use to crown you. But you have to be willing to keep going, even with a limp, even with a wound, even when your hands are shaking, because every step you take while you're broken is a step toward your breakthrough. God isn't finished with you, Lawine. And this moment, this breaking, it's not punishment, it's preparation. What you think is ruining your life is actually reshaping it. And once you come through this, once you stand on the other side of what tried to destroy you, you're going to look back and say, I didn't even know I had that kind of strength in me, but you did, because God placed it there. You just hadn't been broken enough yet to see it. So don't give up in the breaking. Don't run from the pain. Let it do what it came to do. Let it shape you. Let it humble you. Let it grow you. Because what's being built in you is greater than what's been lost. And the version of you that's emerging, that version is built for purpose. That version is built for impact. That version is built for glory. So trust the process, even when it hurts. What breaks you today will build you tomorrow. Your pain is not proof of God's absence, but the evidence of His process. When you're hurting, when your soul is tired, when everything feels heavy and you're wondering, where is God in all this? That's when you have to remember, silence is not abandonment. Just because you don't feel Him doesn't mean He walked away. In fact, it's in those very moments of pain, of confusion, of deep inner struggle, that God is doing His most detailed work. Not on the outside, not in your circumstances, but inside your heart, where real transformation begins. Pain has a way of making everything blurry. It can make you question your purpose, your faith, your worth. You start to wonder if you're being punished, if you did something wrong, if God forgot about you. But listen closely. God doesn't waste pain. He never has, and He never will. That ache in your chest, that unanswered prayer, that door that slammed in your face when you thought it would open wide, that's not the end of the road. That's the start of something new. It's uncomfortable, yes, but so is every birth. So is every stretch. So is every growth spurt. And that's what this is. Growth disguised as grief. Think about a sculptor carving a masterpiece. At first, the stone looks untouched, solid, complete. But to bring the beauty out, the artist has to chip away at it, piece by piece, strike by strike. It's not destruction, it's design. And that's what God is doing with you. Every moment of pain is Him shaping you, chiseling off the fear, the pride, the insecurity, the limitations you put on yourself. It hurts, but it's holy, because through it, He's revealing the version of you He always saw. Some of the deepest lessons you will ever learn about God won't come in a classroom or from a sermon. They'll come through suffering. They'll come through nights when the tears won't stop. Through moments when you feel like you can't take another step, and somehow, you do. That's not weakness. That's grace. That's God holding you up when everything in you wants to fall. And one day you'll look back and realize the pain didn't break you. It built something unshakable in your soul. You just couldn't see it at the time because the process is always hidden until the product is revealed. You may feel like God is distant, but He's not. He's closer than ever. Sometimes He hides His hand just so you can learn to trust His heart. He lets you walk through the valley so you'll know how to appreciate the mountaintop. He allows the night so the light means something when it comes. This pain you're carrying, it's sacred. It's working something in you that success never could. You're learning resilience. You're learning dependence. You're learning how to lean, not on your own understanding, but on His promises. And even if no one else sees it, God sees the fight in you. He sees the days you chose to get up when you could have stayed down. He sees the prayers you whispered when you had no words left. He sees how you're still standing even when everything in you wants to run. That's not weakness. That's warrior spirit. And that pain you're feeling right now, it's not your enemy. It's the very evidence that something holy is being birthed through you. So don't give up. Don't numb it. Don't run from it. Your pain is not proof of God's absence, but the evidence of His process. The story you're living now is the testimony someone else is praying for. It doesn't seem like that while you're in it, does it? When you're waking up every morning just trying to hold it together. When life keeps throwing punches and you're too tired to swing back. When you're asking God, why me? But all you hear in return is silence. In those moments, it feels like your pain is pointless. Like your journey is just full of delays, setbacks, and unanswered questions. But let me tell you something. There is purpose in your path, even the parts you wish you could erase. Somebody right now is praying for a way out of what you've already walked through. They're on their knees, crying for strength. And that strength, you're carrying it. Not because you always had it, but because you were forced to find it. Because you were broken and still showed up. Because you were afraid and still kept walking. Because you had every reason to quit, but didn't. That is testimony. And your survival, your persistence, your faith in the fire is going to light the way for someone else who can't see how they're going to make it. See, God doesn't just allow us to go through pain to make us stronger. He allows it so we can carry others. There's someone out there who won't listen to a sermon or a motivational quote, but they'll listen to you. They'll listen to the story of how you made it through the betrayal, how you pushed through the anxiety, how you kept the faith when the money ran out, when the doctor gave the bad news, when the people you loved let you down. They'll look at you and you'll be proof that survival is possible, that God is still working miracles, that peace can come even in chaos. Sometimes we want God to just fix it. Just remove the problem, heal the pain, bring the breakthrough instantly. But God is often more interested in developing you than delivering you. Because when you've been through the fire and come out on the other side, you don't just praise with emotion, you praise with experience. And experience carries power. That's why your story matters. It's not just about you. It's about every soul your journey will touch. Every person who will find hope in your scars. Every life that will be changed because you refused to give up. You don't need a perfect past to be used by God. You just need a willing heart. What you thought disqualified you actually qualifies you for the very thing someone else needs. Your wounds, your setbacks, your failures. God's going to use all of it. He's the only one who can take what the enemy meant for evil and flip it for purpose. You don't even know how many people will one day thank you. Not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. Because you were real. Because you let God write His story through your brokenness. So the next time you wonder why you're still going through it, remind yourself, you are someone else's answered prayer in progress. The strength you're building is not just for you. It's for the people watching you, learning from you, being lifted by you without even knowing your name. And when your time comes, when your victory becomes visible, someone will whisper a thank you to heaven because you made it. And now they believe they can too. You are not just living a story. You're becoming a testimony someone else desperately needs to hear.